when we talk about, we can talk about the virtue of a horse without thinking that the horse may lie or may not lie, right? What we really mean when we talk about virtue in the 18th century is the highest quality of a horse. Therefore, it's excellence. We can ask, therefore, is there an excellence for a man? Is there something he must do so that whatever is potentially within him emerges as its highest expression? What is the highest expression of man? What is the highest expression for man? If there is a highest expression for man, then that must be the condition for that to be, must mean that there is an excellence that man can possess and can in some condition, in some way manifest, and that means it presupposes that the possibility for excellence must be built in the very fabric of the nature of the universe itself, within the very conditions for the universe itself. Therefore, if man, therefore, can find within himself some way to find his highest expression, that would be an excellence. That excellence, therefore, is a greatness, because from greatness you derive excellence. Therefore, we must ask, what is it about man that can exhibit that most interesting of all possible things? Excellence. Because would you not agree, people do nothing but spend huge amounts in our culture in order to see excellence. When people go to a sport event and they see their heroes function on the highest level in basketball, doing remarkable things, they love to see that excellence, don't they? They pay money to see it. They sit in the first row and spend enormous amounts of money in order to be present before excellence. When people go to concerts, when people go before films, what is it they want to see? They want to see and be present, right? They want to be present before excellence. Would you not agree? What's the reason people go to a sporting event when they could watch the same thing on a TV? They want to be present before excellence. That's the draw. That's what you want to see. You want to see it happening in front of you. Because when you see it happening in front of you, you participate in some way in the display of excellence, and that excites us, and we find that the most rewarding experience we can find. Now, what is the highest, therefore, sport of man? So, there are many kinds of excellence in music and sports and theater, etc., etc., etc. In this game, in Plato, justice is the most significant ideal for man. That means every part of man must be working properly, and that means the parts of the soul must be functioning in such a way that each is functioning in the most ideal way. And if each part is functioning in the most ideal way, then one's reason is functioning in the highest way. One's spirited element then can be joined together in its pursuit, and the desiring part creates no opposition, and therefore the three parts of the soul then can work together in a unified way. When it operates in a unified way in Plato's Republic, he says then what happens here is that man becomes a one out of many. Because there are times when we are in conflict between what reason proposes and the spirited part of our nature may not agree with it, and our desiring part may be in conflict, and therefore we're scattered, and our energies and our goals reflect that kind of internal conflict. But when our desires and our spirit and our reason all together towards some significant goal are brought together into a unity, Plato says that is man is becoming a one out of a many. And the practice that maintains that, whatever it is that maintains that over a period of time, he says, you know what that is? The practice that maintains this condition, that's the name of wisdom. That is wisdom. What is it? To know how to maintain that over a period of time towards the highest goals, that's wisdom. Now, that desire, look here, that striving for the highest greatness, all right? If there is a greatness to man, an excellence to man, and what would show it most clearly? Because when you are operating in that way, where all the parts are functioning together as a unity, in harmony, and all in accord, all right, then one is striving and one is exhibiting an excellence or a greatness. But towards what goal? For what goal? Well, at a great section in the Republic, 540a, Book 7, he said, well, when we first moved to the symposium, man can experience beauty, a magnificent expression that man then encounters in the highest struggles for beauty itself. He can experience the perfection of beauty. In that, he can then reach a greatness, not the highest greatness, but can reach a greatness. To do that, he has to bring himself together and has to be proper and fair with all things. That must be there. But there's something higher than that, isn't it, from what we've done? Because all of these are the conditions for the one generating a manyness, or the condition for a manyness, and overflowing. Well, when these things, you see, let's put one more name on this, and then we can push together to the conclusion. When these things and likeness, right, when these things together can be best, when these ideas can be best assigned to something, what is that something? What other word can we use for it? For Plato, in the Symposium, the Rouse translation calls that reality. Touching reality, as he calls it. Reaching out and touching reality. That reality, which includes all of these ideas necessarily, right, must be inferred as a presence, is then experienced as what we talked about many times before, a luminous, divine radiance, right, having the most interesting of all properties, no beginning and end, right? Not here and there. It permeates all reality. It's beyond all space and time considerations. It's the primary source of all beauty found in the physical universe. This, then, is to behold reality. Watch the language now. To behold reality is to experience it as beauty. To behold reality in Plato takes on a peculiar, interesting name, and that is the idea of the good, capital I. It's not the good, it's beholding the good. To behold the good, that's an experience. To behold the good is called the idea of the good. What is that like? Luminous divine radiance. Therefore, in Plato, he said the way to approach the very nature of the highest term, this light which is